people don't come to St. Pete for the games. And that hasn't changed since 1998, right?
Hey, we've got our friend Tricia Whitaker joining us right now, Apple TV Friday Night Baseball Sideline Report. We'll hit a little Rays storylines. All right, 4 questions for Tricia on Tampa Bay. Get ready for that open air vibe. Minor league Wi-Fi is a very famous term on this show when someone has bad connection, but they do literally have minor league Wi-Fi. Junior Caminero is a stud. We'll see what he looks like in his first full season. And Mac is back. Shane McClanahan's awesome, so I think people obviously forgot about him, but he is one of the better pitchers in baseball, at least a couple years back. And AL Beast, it's a very good division. It looks like it got better. All right, let's start at the top here, Tricia. I know you talked about this on Fair Territory when you were on with Ken recently. I feel like there's actually a lot of pros and cons with this situation because you don't want to be at a minor league park, but the Yankees park's pretty swaggy. It's nice, and it gives some fans an opportunity to get to the park that wouldn't go otherwise. How do you think this is all going to play out?
I actually don't think it's going to be as bad as people might think it's going to be because, I mean, nobody really liked the Trop, right? Players don't like the Trop. Fans don't like the Trop. Ask anybody, and if they tell you they like the Trop, it's total team talk, right? So I don't think it's going to be necessarily a detriment to the team. I think, obviously, you know, you can fit more people in the Trop and all that stuff, but that's not an option because of the hurricane. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. It's going to give a lot of Rays fans in Tampa a chance to go to the game. I've said this before. I said it, in Fair Territory the other day, and a lot of people don't want to say it. People don't come to St. Pete for the games, and that hasn't changed since 1998, right? And the stadium, in my opinion, should be in Tampa. It shouldn't be in St. Pete. And so I think it's going to give people a taste of what the fan base would look like if it was more accessible to the Tampa area. And so I think it's going to be good for them. I mean, I know that obviously in Florida, every single day for a few months during the summer, it rains at 4 p.m. That's going to suck. That's really going to suck. And I think in Florida, you have to have a roof. It's just, you have to have a roof. But I think it's going to be fun for them. I really don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. I know, it cost $50 million to get that ballpark into MLB compliance. And so that definitely took a lot of work to improve the facilities, but I think they've done it. And I think it's actually going to be a really cool experience for a lot of Rays fans on that side of the bridge that didn't generally like to go to St. Pete because that bridge takes an hour to get across most of the time. So I think it's actually going to be positive for them.
Yeah, but I'll tell you when someone's going to say we missed the Trop, it's going to be right after the 3-hour rain delay that they start, and then you're finishing your story at 12:30 at night, and you're like, pitch clock who? I want the Trop.
No, you're right, but that's why you have to have a roof, in a baseball stadium in Florida. But I mean, that brings up a whole nother set of issues that they're going to have when it comes to this whole stadium ordeal. So.
Someone who's not going to care is Junior Caminero. He has got a starting spot. Thank you. He has got a starting spot at third base.
Class. That's perfect.
I need it. I definitely need it. But he's got to start at third base. What's the outlook? Are they looking for him to be this guy that we watched in winter ball, this guy that just carried his winter ball team and was blasting balls all over the ballpark? Or are they looking for him to just settle in and be a consistent everyday third baseman?
I think it's fair to say both, right? I think you can say both. I think they're looking for him to be both. And I think that the Winter League championship was a really, really cool moment for Junior Caminero. I loved covering Junior. He's a good kid. He's an energetic kid. He supports his teammates. He's not a selfish teammate, at least from what I saw. Obviously, there can be other opinions out there, I'm sure, about everybody. But from what I saw, he's a good teammate, and he brings energy to that team. And that Winter League championship, when he hit that go-ahead 454-foot home run in the top of the ninth, that's Junior in a nutshell, right? He has the capability of performing in those big moments. He has the capability of being an elite elite hitter. He said recently that he's targeting 30 home runs this season and that he just wants a ring. Obviously, everybody wants a ring, but I think at such a young age, having some of those lofty goals is awesome. And then obviously during Winter League, he got to pick Albert Pujols' brain. And that had to be fun for him. He told the media the other day that he was always asking him, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And that it was a daily thing for him. So he's coming into camp with a lot of confidence, with a lot more knowledge. He came to camp a week earlier than he was required to. So that's pretty cool to see. And I'm a big Junior Caminero fan after covering him. And my favorite, and the thing about Junior, you guys, is how much, I know this can sound like a cliche phrase sometimes, but how much he loves the game. He loves the game of baseball. I remember when I was doing an Apple TV game last year, he told me that Manny Machado was like his childhood idol. So I'm doing an interview with Junior about Manny Machado and the fact that he was going to play on the same field as Machado that game against the Padres. He starts crying, like tears streaming down his face because he was so overtaken with just joy that he was going to be on the same field as his childhood idol. And then after the game, they arranged for him to go meet Machado and they exchanged jerseys and all of that. And it was one of the coolest moments of the season for me because sometimes you go to the park every day and you forget, hey, this is the coolest job in the entire world. You're caught up in what you have to do. But a moment like that happens and you're just like, oh, damn, this is really what it's all about. Like a young Junior Caminero looking at what he's doing now would just be in tears. And that was such a cool moment. So big Junior Caminero fan. I expect huge things from him this season. And I think we're going to see it.
Another fan that we are big on is young Shane McClanahan. His kid is an absolute stud. He did not play all 2024. What do you expect from this guy coming into this year? He's healthy, ready to rock. 6th in the Cy Young voting a couple years ago. Talk to me a little bit about him.
Shane McClanahan is a beast on the mound. He's intense on the mound. He's intense on his start days. He's intense not on his start days. He's a funny guy. He's a good guy, but he cares very, very deeply about his performance. Everybody cares about their performance, but I do think that there are some guys who probably have a little bit more passion than others when it comes to their skill set and what they can do. And I think the other day, after he faced hitters, he said, he felt no different than he remembered it feeling, back in August of 2023 before, he had to have Tommy John. And they said he looked very close to himself. And, I think Cash said it really well when he told the media the other day. He said, Shane makes it different on the field for us. He just does, because he does. He was throwing 97, 98 when he was facing live hitters in BP. And so I think he's in store for really, really big season. He's in line to make his 3rd consecutive opening day start. And I think, they're going to have to manage him a little bit. But if there's one thing about Shane, like I said before, he's intense. He's not going to want to be taken out of the game. So the Rays are going to have to manage him. That'll be up to Rays pitching coach Kyle Snyder and Kevin Cash to just talk to him, set expectations, and it'll be up to Shane to trust them. Because if you also know anything about Shane, you know that being taken out of games early really angers him. It makes no pitcher happy, but for him, it really makes him upset. So I'm expecting huge things from him, and I really enjoyed covering him when I was with the Rays. It was an interesting look into a pitcher who takes what he does very, very, very seriously. So big things from Shane this season.
I love watching the best arms face the best lineups. Unfortunately for the Rays, they do have a really good arm, but they got to face the Sox, who are much improved. They got to face the Yankees and the Orioles 13 times each. Is this too much of a beast of an East this year for the Rays? Like, your voice sounds a little sad. I can see it in your face. Is this a little bit too much for the Rays?
Let's see. How do I put this? I will always be cheering for the Rays just because I spent so much time there, got to know the fan base, the organization, the team, everybody. I do think it's going to be a very, very big challenge for them. They can outmatch people with pitching. Run prevention is their priority and defense is their priority. But the hitting and the bats, that's just the thing that, last year at times was really, really difficult to watch. And competing in the AL East, with the lineup that they have, it's going to be challenging. And I don't know. Yeah, there you go. There's their projected starting lineup. Obviously, you have Yandy Diaz. Brandon Lau, when Brandon Lau is hot, he's hot. When he's not, he is not, right? Junior, if he can take a step forward this year. Josh Lowe has had times where he's very, very hot. Danny Jansen, I know, when he's good, he's good. He's coming off a little bit of a shaky offensive season. The bottom of that lineup definitely needs to prove themselves at the plate. But to put it nicely, I think it's going to be a challenge for them in the AL East this year offensively. Obviously, we know pitching-wise, they're good to go. Defense, tops in the league. That's their bread and butter, right? But I do think that they are going to have a difficult time in a stacked East this year offensively. And I hate to say that, but I do think that's going to be a challenge for them. But hey, hopefully we can clip this at the end of the season and you guys can be like, you were wrong. They were really, really good.
Surprisingly, we did power rankings yesterday, and there were quite a few Rays fans who were like, "Where are we at?" I'm like, "Relax, okay? It's not like you made the playoffs last year. Like, if things do emerge in the beginning of the season, we'll put you in the top 10. But they did not deserve to be in the top 10. Let's be real.
No. They don't right now. But Rays fans are always going to be. What I learned about them is they're always the ones that are like, "Hey, what about us? Hey, what about us?" Rightfully so, because let's face it, when they do well, they don't get a ton of coverage or a ton of credit, right? So in those 5 straight years that they made the playoffs when I was there, I remember it even making me mad, and I don't take one swing of the bat. But I was like, nope, why isn't anybody talking about them? They are very, very good, especially when you consider their payroll and what they did with that. So the Rays fans definitely have that mentality of like, hey, hello, here we are. Please don't forget about us. And it's valid. This year, potentially not valid with what you were talking about, Scott. But I understand their mentality after seeing it the last 6 seasons.
Yeah, it's fair. Under the radar. No doubt about it. Tricia, you're the best. Thank you so much. Great to see you. And we'll all see you in class for our sessions.
Yes. My students are going to be so excited. I'm going to clip this and show them. They're going to be pumped.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.